Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Jenna Ortega. From child star to one of Hollywood's most compelling young actors, Jenna Ortega has quickly become one of the most recognizable and respected young talents in Hollywood. Known for her expressive performances, fearless role choices, and grounded public persona, Ortega represents a new generation of actors who balance mainstream success with artistic credibility. From early Disney Channel roles to global stardom through darker, more complex characters, her career reflects both versatility and steady growth. Early life and background. Jenna Marie Ortega was born on September 27, 2002, in Coachella Valley, California. Raised in a large family with Mexican and Puerto Rican heritage, she developed an interest in acting at a very young age. Her mother began posting videos of Jenna performing online, which helped attract the attention of casting professionals. By the time she was a child, Ortega had already begun auditioning and booking roles, showing a natural comfort in front of the camera. Early career and breakthrough. Ortega's early work included small roles in television series such as CSI, NY and Days of Our Lives. Her first major breakthrough came with the role of young Jane in the critically acclaimed series Jane the Virgin, where her performance stood out for its emotional intelligence and maturity. She later gained widespread recognition as Harley Diaz in Disney Channel's Stuck in the Middle, 2016 to 2018. The show made her a familiar face to younger audiences and established her as a dependable lead actress. However, unlike many child stars, Ortega was deliberate about transitioning away from purely lighthearted roles. Transitioned to mature and darker roles as she grew older. Jenna Ortega made a conscious shift toward more challenging and mature projects. She appeared in the psychological thriller You, Season 2, where her portrayal of Ellie Alves earned praise for adding emotional depth to a dark series. She continued this trajectory with roles in horror films such as The Babysitter, Killer Queen, X, and Scream, 2022, cementing her reputation as a modern scream queen. Ortega's performances in the horror genre are notable not just for their intensity, but for the emotional realism she brings to characters often placed in extreme situations. Her ability to convey vulnerability and strength simultaneously has become one of her defining traits. Global stardom with Wednesday. Jenna Ortega's career reached a new level with her starring role as Wednesday Addams in Netflix's Wednesday, 2022. Her reimagining of the iconic character was widely praised for its sharp wit, emotional restraint, and originality. Ortega's performance avoided imitation, instead presenting Wednesday as introspective, socially distant, and quietly rebellious. The series became a global phenomenon, and Ortega's portrayal sparked widespread cultural impact, from fashion trends to viral dance moments. Importantly, she also took on a behind-the-scenes role as a producer, demonstrating her growing influence and creative voice within the industry. Acting style and public image. Ortega is often praised for her expressive eyes, subtle facial acting, and ability to communicate complex emotions with minimal dialogue. She gravitates toward characters who feel like outsiders, intelligent, guarded, and emotionally layered. This consistency has helped shape a strong and authentic screen identity. Off-screen, Jenna Ortega is known for her thoughtful interviews and reserved public presence. She frequently speaks about mental health, representation, and the importance of staying grounded in an industry known for intense pressure. Her fashion choices, often blending classic Gothic elements with modern minimalism, have also made her a standout on red carpets. Future projects and career outlook. With critical acclaim, commercial success, and a clear artistic vision, Jenna Ortega's future in Hollywood appears exceptionally strong. She continues to explore producing, writing input, and roles that challenge expectations. Rather than chasing trends, Ortega has positioned herself as an actor focused on longevity and meaningful storytelling. Conclusion: Jenna Ortega's rise is not the result of overnight fame, but of years of disciplined work, smart choices, and emotional intelligence beyond her age. From child actor to cultural icon, she has navigated the transition with confidence and integrity. As she continues to evolve, Jenna Ortega stands as one of the most promising and influential young actors of her generation. Jenna Ortega, crafting a career defined by control, depth, and cultural impact. Jenna Ortega's success is not accidental, it is the result of strategic decision-making, emotional discipline, and a clear understanding of her own boundaries as an artist. In an industry where young actors are often shaped by external forces, Ortega has distinguished herself by actively shaping her own narrative, choosing roles with intent. One of the most striking aspects of Jenna Ortega's career is her intentionality. Unlike many actors who accept roles for visibility alone, Ortega has repeatedly emphasized the importance of story, character psychology, and creative integrity. She has turned down projects that did not align with her values or long-term goals, even at moments when her career momentum could have justified safer or more commercial choices. This approach is evident in her preference for emotionally complex characters, often young women navigating trauma, isolation, or moral ambiguity. These roles allow Ortega to explore internal conflict rather than surface-level charm, setting her apart from peers who rely more heavily on traditional star appeal. Reinventing that young Hollywood archetype, Jenna Ortega represents a shift in how young female actors are perceived. Rather than being marketed primarily through glamour or romance, her image is built around intelligence, emotional realism, and quiet defiance. She does not rely on scandal, oversharing, or manufactured controversy to maintain relevance. Her interviews are often introspective and articulate, revealing a performer who is highly aware of the pressures of fame but unwilling to let it define her identity. This has resonated strongly with Gen Z audiences, who value authenticity and emotional transparency over polished perfection. Influence on fashion and pop culture. Ortega's rise has also influenced fashion and aesthetics, particularly following Wednesday. Her embrace of dark, Gothic-inspired fashion, both on and off screen, sparked a renewed interest in minimalist Gothic styles. Designers and stylists have praised her ability to balance dramatic silhouettes with restraint, avoiding excess while maintaining a strong visual identity. Importantly, her fashion presence feels like an extension of her personality rather than a marketing tool. This coherence between image and character reinforces her credibility and cultural appeal. Advocacy, representation, and voice. As a Latina actress in Hollywood, Jenna Ortega has been open about the importance of representation without allowing it to become her sole defining trait. She has spoken about the need for more nuanced roles for women of color, characters who are flawed, intelligent, and emotionally complex rather than stereotypical. She also advocates for better working conditions for young actors, mental health awareness, and creative collaboration. Her willingness to speak honestly, while still maintaining professionalism, has earned her respect from both fans and industry veterans. Expanding power behind the camera. Ortega's move into producing signals a long-term vision that extends beyond acting. By participating in creative decisions, she gains greater control over character development, tone, and storytelling. This transition reflects a broader trend among modern actors who seek ownership rather than dependency. Her behind-the-scenes involvement suggests that Ortega is positioning herself not just as a performer, but as a storyteller, someone invested in shaping narratives that challenge conventions and explore uncomfortable truths. Longevity over hype. What ultimately defines Jenna Ortega's career is her focus on longevity. She has avoided being boxed into a single genre or image, even while achieving massive success in horror and dark comedy. This flexibility ensures that her career can evolve naturally as she matures, without the need for abrupt reinvention. Rather than chasing constant visibility, Ortega appears comfortable with strategic pauses, selective projects, and gradual growth, an approach that historically defines actors with lasting influence. Final reflection. Jenna Ortega is not merely a product of viral moments or streaming-era fame. She is a disciplined actor with a clear sense of purpose, a growing creative voice, and a strong connection to her audience. As Hollywood continues to evolve, Ortega stands out as a figure who understands both the power and the responsibility of visibility. Her career so far suggests not just stardom, but endurance, and in an industry built on reinvention, that may be her greatest achievement. Jenna Ortega and the art of emotional precision. What separates Jenna Ortega from many of her contemporaries is her command of emotional precision. Her performances rarely rely on exaggerated gestures or overt sentimentality. Instead, she uses restraint, silences, stillness, micro-expressions to communicate inner turmoil. This technique, often seen in seasoned dramatic actors, gives her characters a sense of realism that resonates strongly with audiences. Directors have frequently noted her preparedness on set. Ortega is known for arriving with detailed character analysis, understanding not just her own motivations but the emotional rhythm of each scene. This level of preparation allows her to adapt quickly while maintaining consistency, an essential skill in long-form television and emotionally demanding film roles. Redefining strength in female characters. Jenna Ortega's characters often challenge traditional portrayals of female strength. Rather than depicting power through dominance or charm, her roles emphasize resilience, intelligence, and moral independence. Whether playing a detached outsider or a traumatized survivor, Ortega's characters retain agency, even when they are vulnerable. This representation has had a noticeable impact on younger audiences, particularly those who identify with feeling misunderstood or emotionally reserved. Ortega's characters suggest that strength does not always require likability or conformity, a message that feels increasingly relevant in modern storytelling. Industry respect beyond age. Despite her youth, Ortega has earned a level of professional respect typically reserved for far more experienced actors. She has worked across genres, comedy, drama, thriller, horror, without losing credibility in any single space. This genre fluidity is a hallmark of actors with long-term careers rather than short-lived stardom. Casting directors and producers view her as reliable under pressure, capable of carrying emotionally heavy material while maintaining discipline on set. This reputation positions her as a first-choice lead rather than a novelty performer tied to a single successful project. Navigating fame with boundaries. One of the most distinctive aspects of Jenna Ortega's public life is her insistence on personal boundaries. In an era defined by constant exposure, she has chosen a more reserved approach, limiting oversharing while remaining thoughtful and engaged when she does speak. This balance has strengthened her public image rather than weakened it. By not commodifying every aspect of her life, Ortega preserves a sense of mystery that reinforces audience interest while protecting her mental well-being. Her approach serves as a modern example of how young celebrities can maintain control without disengaging entirely. Cultural timing and relevance. Ortega's rise coincides with a broader cultural shift toward darker, more introspective narratives in mainstream media. Audiences increasingly gravitate toward stories that explore alienation, anxiety, and identity, themes that align naturally with her screen presence. Rather than adapting herself to trends, Ortega seems to fit organically into this cultural moment. Her success reflects not only talent, but timing, an ability to embody the emotional undercurrents of her generation without turning them into spectacle. Potential legacy. If her current trajectory continues, Jenna Ortega's legacy is likely to extend beyond individual performances. She represents a model for sustainable fame, one built on skill, selectivity, and creative involvement. As she continues to develop projects and assume greater influence behind the camera, her impact may increasingly shape the kinds of stories that reach mainstream audiences. Actors who prioritize depth over visibility often leave the most lasting mark. Ortega's career suggests she understands this distinction and is actively choosing the longer path. Closing perspective. Jenna Ortega stands at an intersection of talent, cultural relevance, and creative control. She is not defined by a single role, aesthetic, or moment of popularity. Instead, her career reflects careful construction, one performance at a time. As Hollywood continues to recalibrate its values, Jenna Ortega appears not just prepared for the future, but quietly shaping it.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.